today our topic is the Battle of Buxar. Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar was appointed as the Nawab of Bengal after the Battle of Buxar, and he was just like a puppet. He gave them huge war conceptions, but company was asking more and more revenue demands. Company was not satisfied with Mir Jafar, and when he failed to fulfill their demands, then his son-in-law Mir Qasim, actually Mir Qasim, he was the son-in-law of Mir Jafar. Then British, they appointed Mir Qasim as the Nawab of Bengal. Soon differences started among them. He started consolidating his power. He asked company to pay revenue. He abolished duties on internal trade. This made British unhappy. Actually, Mir Qasim followed the same thing just like Sirajuddaulah. He was aware about Sirajuddaulah, and first when he was put on the throne, he started to have army, to to use modern equipments for the army, and he also abolished duties. The duties which were imposed on the internal trade, Mir Qasim abolished them, and this made the British unhappy. Mir Qasim enters into an alliance with Nawab. When British become angry, they become unhappy with Mir Qasim. Then Mir Qasim flew away from Bengal. He went to Nawab Shujauddaulah and the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam. Mughal Emperor Shah Alam, he was in Delhi, and Nawab Shujauddaulah, he was the Nawab of Awadh. He was the Nawab of Awadh. Then they make an alliance. They three become in an alliance, and then the combined forces of these three, they challenged the British at the Buxar in 1764. The Battle of Buxar took place in 1764, and British had a small army, but they conquered and established their superiority. Actually, there were three forces: the forces of Mir Qasim, forces of Nawab Shujauddaulah, the Nawab of Awadh, and Shah Alam. Shah Alam was the Mughal emperor. Then these combined, there were three combined forces, and what was the result of the Battle of Buxar? The British, they were conquered, and these three forces were defeated. Mir Jafar was once again, actually Mir Jafar was Nawab after Sirajuddaulah, and after that the British, they put on Mir Qasim as the Nawab of Bengal. But when Mir Qasim, Nawab Shujauddaulah and Shah Alam, they have a battle in Buxar, after that the British once again appointed Mir Jafar as the Nawab of Bengal, and in that return he paid huge money. Nawab Mir Jafar, he paid huge money, huge amounts to the British, and many gifts were given to them, to their officials. Till this battle, which battle we are studying here? We are studying here the Battle of Buxar. Their objective, the British, they don't want to rule here, but because they don't want to have any responsibility of administration. Why British don't want to rule here? Actually, the British, our lesson is also the British from traders to ruler. The British came to India for trade, and they don't come here to rule over here. But till the Battle of Buxar, their motto was not, their objective was not to rule here. Their objective was only for trade. Why their motto was not rule here? Because they don't want to have any responsibility of administration. Mir Jafar, he died in 1765. He died in 1765, and the company realized that puppet rulers are not so helpful, as they wanted more money to finance its war, meet its trade. Mir Jafar, he was very old, and he got died in 1765. Then company realized that he was working just like a puppet. He was working according to their wish. Like a puppet means that he was working according to their wish, but he was not giving so much concession. How the British were asking for that. Then here the Treaty of Allahabad. After the Battle of Buxar, Shah Alam, Shujauddaulah and the Nawab of Bengal entered into a Treaty of Allahabad. It was a turning point by British. Why it was a turning point? As we know that in the Battle of Buxar, the combined forces were defeated and the British were the conqueror. And after this battle, a treaty was there, and this treaty took place at Allahabad. That is why it is known as the Treaty of Allahabad. What were the main provisions of this treaty? Here we will discuss what were the main provision of the Treaty of Allahabad. They become the virtual ruler of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. The British, they become virtual ruler of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Shujauddaulah was paid 50 lakh rupees. Actually, Shujauddaulah, he was the Nawab of Awadh. And he was defeated. Three forces, all three were defeated. He was also among them. Then he has to pay 50 lakh rupees. How much amount he has to pay? He paid 50 lakh rupees to get back Awadh, but he had to give up Kora and Allahabad. Kora and Allahabad were two important districts at that time. Then they have to give up that. Shujauddaulah has to give up that, and he also paid 50 lakh rupees to get back Awadh. Shah Alam II, he was recognized as the Mughal ruler, as we have discussed that he was the Mughal ruler. Then he was recognized when after the Treaty of Allahabad, he recognized as the Mughal ruler and was given an annual pension of 26 lakhs rupees. How much pension the British were paying to them? To Shah Alam II, they were paying 26 lakh rupees, and in return of 26 lakh annual pension, and as the Mughal ruler, he granted the Diwani to British from Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. They were granted, the British were granted Diwani. Diwani, it is the right to have revenue, to collect revenue in that region where they got Diwani. The British promised to protect Awadh. These are the main feature. All these are the main feature of the Treaty of Allahabad. British become the virtual ruler of Bengal. Shujauddaulah, he paid 50 lakh rupees, and he also gave up Kora and Allahabad. Shah Alam, he was recognized as the Mughal ruler, and he was given an annual pension of 26 lakh rupees. And in return of these, the emperor granted Diwani to British, Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. And what is Diwani? Diwani is the right to collect the revenue. The British promised to protect Awadh. These were the main provision of the Treaty of Allahabad. Here we will discuss about the dual government. First I have to set this. Dual government. After the victory in the Battle of Buxar, a unique system, diarchy, was established by company. They were the conqueror. The British were the conqueror, and after this victory, they started a unique system, a system of diarchy. What was that unique system? That system was known as diarchy. and it was established by the company. According to this, company became the supreme political power in Bengal. Earlier, Nawab were the supreme political power, but now who were the supreme political power? It was company. It appointed officers to collect revenue. Actually, now they have get the right to collect revenue, and so that to collect the revenue they appointed their own officers. The military was company's control. It was the military, it was under the company control. Which company was there? It was the British East India Company. Company did not company did not take up the responsibility of administration. As I told you earlier that they don't come here to as a ruler, they came here as a trader, but they didn't adopted the responsibility of administration. This responsibility, which responsibility I am talking? I am talking about the responsibility of administration. It was given to Nawab, and the Nawab, he was given a small portion of revenue to run administration. The Nawab had no power to enforce law and justice. The Nawab were given only a small piece, small land to collect revenue, but they were not having any power to enforce law and justice. Law and justice was not there because the administration was under the Nawab of Bengal, but the military and the right to collect revenue, it was under the British. In this way, two governments were there. One government was having the right of revenue and the other was having the responsibility of administration. What were its effect? What were the effect of DRK? Here we will study effect of DRK. Under this system, the pupil of Bengal suffered a lot. The administration become corrupt. Effect of DRK. What were the effect of DRK? Under this system, the people of Bengal suffered a lot. The administration become corrupt. Artisans and the peasant suffered miserably. 1770, when a famine struck Bengal, neither company nor Nawab took care of the people. In 1772, this system of dual government came to an end. Warren Hastings was appointed the Governor General of Bengal. What were the effect of DRK? Here we have to understand. We have discussed about dual government. What was dual government? Two governments were there. One was for administration and one was for collecting revenue and to look after the military. And now no one was there. Neither the British were having responsibility for that nor the Nawab. Now what was the effect? It have ill effect on Bengal. This system suffered. Under this system, the people of Bengal suffered a lot. Administration, it become corrupt, and all the artisans and the peasants, they suffered. They left their jobs, and in this time, in 1770, a famine was there in Bengal. It was a very dangerous famine. Many people were there who got died in this famine, but neither company was taking responsibility nor Nawab was taking care of the pupil, and this system came to end. If the question is when the system of DRK or the dual government came to end, then you have to answer that it came to end in 1772. Warren Hastings was appointed the Governor General. Who was the first Governor General of Bengal? He was Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of Bengal. expansion of yes, we were discussing about this. Warren Hastings, he was appointed the first Governor General of Bengal, and he marked the mission for further expansion of British rule in India. He worked hard, and he also helped the Britishers to make clear that they can rule here. He expanded the company's rule between 1765 to 1857, almost the whole India subcontinent. We know that India is a subcontinent, and it was brought under the British rule. This was achieved by various methods. Various methods were applied by the Britishers. Sometime it was annexation, sometime it was alliance. As we discussed, alliance was there. We discussed just now the Treaty of Allahabad. It was treaty. Sometimes they use treaty, sometimes they have war, sometimes they have alliances. Anything, whatever they can do, they do that to expand the company rule. The company appointed residents in Indian states. The company began to interfere in the Indian political affairs through these residents. Through these residents, company began to interfere. Company began to interfere in the political affair. As earlier they as I was telling you at that time, that the Battle of Plassey, it was the result of the interference of the British, and after that they appointed Mir Jafar, after that Mir Qasim, and after that they fought battle, they appointed Mir Jafar once again. All these were the interference, but after this battle they also follow this and they continued to expand the company rule.